Hey everyone, welcome to Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. It's Pastor Jamie. Glad you could be with us again today. Um, Again, this will be my last devotional till the fall. With summer coming up, I'm going to be in and out of the office a lot, and so I won't be doing my online devotions again until probably mid-August or the beginning of September. Anyways, with that said, I wanted to go out with a bang, so I decided to use the text not for this coming Sunday, but next Sunday, June 5th for Pentecost, and I'll be reading the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verses 8 to 17 and 25 to 27. Philip said to Jesus, "Lord, show us the Father, and we will be satisfied." Jesus said to him, "Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and you still do not know me? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you, I do not speak on my own, but the Father who dwells in me does his works. Believe me, I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. But if you do not, then believe because of the works themselves. Very truly, I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact will do greater works than these, because I am going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you forever. This is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. You know him because he abides with you, and he will be in you. I have said these things to you while I am still with you, but the advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything and remind you all that I have said to you. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. Here ends our gospel reading. Many seminarians learn that John chapters 13 to 17 are known as the farewell discourse in John. I've heard these chapters also referred to more simply just as table talks. Jesus is at the table with his disciples, and this again is the night before his crucifixion on that Maundy Thursday. Knowing that he has come from God and is going to God, Jesus spends his last evening with his own. He eats with them, he washes their feet, he gives them a new commandment. He talks with them about their relationship with the Father and the Spirit. He promises them another advocate, and he intercedes for them and for those who will believe in him. All of this happens around the simplicity and the intimacy of an evening meal. Throughout the evening, Jesus speaks again and again on three themes. He is leaving, his followers are staying here, and the Holy Spirit will be with them so they may continue his work. While the reading from Acts will no doubt take center stage on the celebration of Pentecost, nevertheless, the gospel reading for John challenges us to think about how it is that we come to believe. In fact, in this reading from Jesus' table talks, his challenge to believe is made 4 times in only 3 verses. Jesus challenged his disciples and challenges us to believe in who he is, what he said, and what he did. How is it that we are able to love Jesus and keep his commandments? Now, we love the image of a dove coming down on Jesus' head following his baptism in the Jordan. That would be a nice, clear, and outward and visible sign that something important has happened. And also, when the disciples gathered in the upper room waiting as Jesus had commanded them, we're told that there's a loud, a sound like a rush of violent wind, divided tongues as a fire appeared among them, and their tongues rested on each of them. Again, this would be great. A nice, clear sign that something important has happened. If only we had such clear evidence. I have to confess that on the day of my ordination, I was hoping and praying for such a sign. I was ordained at St. Matthew Lutheran Church in Logan, Ohio, and the day finally arrived when the bishop came. Everyone was all dressed up, and I was waiting to have my stole laid on me by my parents. All eyes were on me as I walked down the aisle towards the bishop, but I did not look at them. I was looking at the bishop, anticipating a sign, a feeling, something remarkable that would let me know that something important had happened. I knelt before the bishop, and he laid his hands on my draped head, and I waited, and I waited, and I heard the words that I was ordained, but nothing. There were no doves or flames, no remarkable feeling. I rose and with a somewhat disappointed heart returned to my pew. I was now an ordained pastor in the ELCA, and yet seemingly I felt like the same old Jamie. So I'm able to relate to Philip's request. He turned to Jesus as they gathered around the table in the upper room that final night and said, "Show us the Father and we'll be satisfied." Show us the Father? Now? He asks. Philip has walked with Jesus. He sat at Jesus' feet, listening to his teachings, and he still feels unchanged. How does not feel different? How he does not understand. I think that I can also hear the frustration and just the exasperation of Jesus' voice as he turns to his friend and student and says, "Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and you still don't know me?" Perhaps Bishop Holloway might have asked me the same question that day. The good news of the gospel is that knowing Jesus Christ, we have come to know God. In hearing the teachings of Jesus, we have heard God's love for us. And because Jesus, we are told, is in the Father and his Father is in me. All that Jesus said, all that he did, he declares not only in his words or his works, but of those that when he says, the Father who dwells in me. Over and over again, Jesus challenges us to believe that he is in the Father. And if we believe, he declares to us not only that we will be able to do the same works that he did, but will also do greater works than these. But how are we able to believe? How are we able to do great works in the name of a person who was crucified and died? Christ is risen, but he has also ascended. He is no longer with us. How can we, who are not with him and did not hear his teachings directly and did not see him, believe? We are able to believe through the power of the Paraclete, the Advocate, the Holy Spirit. As they sat in the upper room with the power of hate of the Jewish leaders and Roman oppressors filling the air around them, Jesus assured his disciples that he was going to the Father and offered them words of comfort. If in my name you ask me anything, I will do it. Little could they know how much they would need this help. And finally, Jesus challenged them to love him and keep his commandments. I suspect everyone seated in that room was nodding their head and thought, I do love you, and of course I'll keep your commandments. But in just a few short hours, their teacher would be arrested and tried. And a few hours after that, his life would be ended and their lives would be filled with fear that the same thing might happen to them. Would they still love him? Could they keep his commandments? They and we are able to love and keep commandments because of the Spirit, the Advocate sent by God. Jesus declared to them and us that the Spirit of truth would be with us forever. The Advocate will help us hear the words of Jesus even though he has gone to the Father. The Paraclete, we're told, will teach you everything and remind you all that I have said to you. We are able to love God and others because the love of God and the gift of the Spirit will abide with you and he will be with you. Through the Spirit, the Advocate, the Comforter, the Counselor, whatever name you have for it, I have come to believe that I was changed on that Sunday afternoon in Logan, Ohio. Something important did happen. I was filled with the love and the peace and the Spirit of God, and that Spirit continues to fill me and lead me to keep his commandments. And the Spirit fills all of those who believe in Jesus. And I don't know about all of you, but that sounds like pretty good news to me, especially at Pentecost. Well, that's what I have for everybody. Again, it's been great to be with you again. I'll be with you again in the fall. But until we can be back together again, please take care of yourselves and each other.